All right, I want to talk a little bit about warming up. Right, I'm warmed up today. I'm sort of tired, and it's sort of the end of the day. It's 5 o'clock here in the state of Washington, near Seattle, where I am. So I thought I would figure out how would I get my voice to work today, let's say. So there's a series of vocalises we can do, and you sort of just, first of all, you want to make sure your nose is closed and not open. I don't want ma, I want ba 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 la. So I start with some closed nose exercises. And I sort of mix in others, like I take my smallest sound I can make. If you can hear that. Then I think about wheels, what I call wheels, when I come down the scale. You don't let the voice fall out of the mask and fall under and get chesty. Not when you're warming up, anyway. See? So I go. My nose is closed. Then I just decide, well, I want a little bit more voice. You try to get the thing warmed up so you can do some crescendos and decrescendos that are smooth and not bumpy. And it's not that easy, but you can do it. Then there are other exercises you can do. One of them, all of them cause a reaction in the diaphragm. So if you look at my stomach, I go, ba, 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 ba. The minute I close my nose and make a sound, my diaphragm reacts. So I breathe behind me, and I go, beep, 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 ba, 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 ba. Now I'll try another one. Nyam, nyam, nya. So when I say the Y, nya, this jumps. Nya, nya, nya. I'm not pushing it out, it's just reacting. Nya. So I go nyam, 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 nyam. Nyam, 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 nyam. Ba, 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 ba. Finally, I don't care if I have big low notes because I don't get paid to sing down there. I get paid to sing up above. See? Then we have the tongue trill. So I take a big breath. And I go. It still fits these criteria, right? Of the response in the diaphragm, and no jaw, no head. I throw my head back, my throat is loose. Then I go through all the vowels. A, E, I, O, U. So I can take a text. I can say, and go. And I can try to do a soft one. Very, very difficult. It really does cause me to, I really need to breathe very deeply to do this. I go, remember I'm throatless, jawless, and tongueless right now. It goes completely loose on this. I have no help. So, ba 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 ba. So we do falsetto attachments, another one, especially for men. The women do it backwards. Women go oh, but we go. I did a video the other day on the falsetto attachment, but we go. Now establish a totally loose throat and a steady emission of the breath. So I go, and then I attach it. And there it goes again. So every one of these vocalises that I've inherited from some famous singer, I didn't make them up. Somebody used them and said, do this. I said, okay. So if I do this, I go, so it's not very loud, then I attach it. I've got a videotape up now, well, I've had it for a long time up, called Slender Singing, and it uses this particular one a lot. So you go, so what we're really trying to do is to get the breath down, get the air box open, wake everything up, trying to get my throat completely invisible, completely loose, right? Everything loose. I'm trying to do the rule of, first rule, no action in the throat. And the second rule, no change of emission. And then I want to just get the edges of the vocal cords, or vocal folds as they call them today, just the edges to touch. Not like this. Oh, you don't want all that heavy vocal cords slamming into the other one like a couple of beefsteaks. You don't want that. You want to absolutely make the breath, this breath stop, the appoggio, the lean, the pressure of the breath on the diaphragm, all that terminology, use that to control the breath. And when you do, you just touch the edges. And then when the vocal cords have to pull tighter for high notes and it's just the edges that are contacting, everything gets easier. This is really hard. And most people who sing dark and heavy like that can't sing high notes either very well or very easily, or they get a big wobble. So the wobbles are caused by that resistance of that. They go up and they go, oh! Well, that's just not necessary. What if I could go, if there's no wobble, and now one of my vocalises I do is a staccato. It's another way to vocalize and warm up the voice, and just use the edges of the chords. Just go. Is that enough to sing with? All I'm using is the point of a needle somewhere on a couple of vocal cords that are barely touching. And as Richard Tucker said to me, you see, the voice does nothing, the breath does everything. And of course, we're letting out these gigantic, huge foghorn sounds that would just blew me out of the room, peeled the paint off the walls. And he was doing nothing, according to him. So I'm going, ooh, ah, and there's my attachment. Now, let's see how we do that, if we want to do that, in performance. And one of the most famous singers in history, Beniamino Gigli, used it all the time. It was his vocal technique, and of course they called it sobbing. It's not really sobbing, it's sort of one particular characteristic of a sob, but it's not sobbing in intent. It's attaching. I go, ooh, ah. Now I'm going to do it quickly. Ah, ah, ooh, ah, 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 so I can sob, if you want to call it that, right? Breathe. Breathe in. Ooh, ah, ah, ooh, ah, ah. You notice my throat is completely loose. I'm not doing anything. Ooh, ah, 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 So the whole idea is to use the freedom and looseness of a falsetto tone, and then attach it by leaning the breath on the diaphragm, and then do it quickly. So it sounds kind of silly. I mean, the sobbing, my old teacher was best friends with Gigli, and she had the most magnificent voice you can imagine, an incredible voice, but She couldn't go to hear him in the opera anymore because he sobbed all night long, almost every note, she called it. So the whole idea is we're supposed to do that maybe as a warm-up and then hide it and don't use it. I go, ah, ah, I don't have to do that to sing. I go, ah, ah, ah. Why would I do that? Well, I'm not Geely. I don't have that kind of career. So maybe when you get in that big a career, you'll do any darn thing you can to survive and make an impression, right? And he did. He certainly did survive, and he certainly made a fantastic historical impression singing that way. But there are a lot of singers that sob and use little sobs, and we don't want to overdo it because everybody says, what are you doing? It's not written in the music. What are you going to do, right? So why can't I just go, ah, with the same function? Ooh, ah, ah, and then now my voice is gradually warming up. Ooh, ah, ah, ah. Why isn't that enough? Ah, ah, tombe degli avi miei. Why do I have to go, tombe degli avi miei, non li avanza, non sirve felice? Do I have to sob all the time? No. But this so-called sob, which is really a falsetto attachment, a falsetto is a leaking, let me show you what I mean. Falsetto allows the breath to leak through the throat. If I go, whoo, you see that leak? If I stop the leak, I go, whoo, ah, and now it's not leaking. Whoo, ah, 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 ah. And after practicing for a while, I get so I can sob and not leak. But all those little tricks the singers do, hey, more power to them. Anyway, you can figure out a way to sing some of the repertoire they sang, the way they sang it, so fantastic. That's just great. Why not? So we've got ba 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 ba. We've got you can go from small to bigger to small and find out what that does. What happens down here when I do that? See, making my smallest sound. How loud do I have to sing then? If the voice sits up here in the mask, how loud do I have to sing to be successful in the theater? Well, it depends on the repertoire you're singing, doesn't it? Right? Just talked about recently about the weight of the lean. How heavy is the lean? How much does the staccato weigh? You put it on a scale, I don't know how much it would weigh, but it's not very heavy, see? Now we have the lip clamp. Here's another one. This is not an M, it's not a hum. It's a lip clamp. You clamp your lips together and go. See that? There it goes again. I'm not doing that, and you'll notice it's the same every time. Ba ba ba. Ha ha. We'll do some more. I got a couple more after this, but let's get the lip clamp down. So I say all the vowels, a, e, o, u, behind it. When I do the lip clamp, my nose closes automatically. So if I go, now my nose is open because the opens my nose, and when I open my mouth, for some reason it's an action reaction system that causes this to work and this to stop the leak. So I go What am I doing? Except breathing way down behind me. I breathe like that. You'll see in the beginning, you'll see Victoria Robertson and Joshua Quesada demonstrating, in the beginning of my videos, you'll see them demonstrating postures, and then we call it the posture method, because if you do all those postures and do these vocalises, you end up ready to sing. You're ready for bear. The whole idea is to do them all until you can do them. If you squat down, it bends your pelvis under and pulls it elongates the spine and makes the breath go down. See? So lip clamp. Then we've got halla. Again, halla. When I put that L in, I go halla, halla. Look at that. Halla, halla. So when I go from h to l, this moves out, and that's where my voice is leaning. So they call that, in Italian, they call it appoggio. Lily Lehman called it Atemstau, right? Stützpunkt. She had a few words for it. Atemstau means breath jamming up, stopping it. Like a dam in a river is a Staudamm. It jams up the water, stops the water from flowing. A traffic jam is Verkehrsverstauung. So stauen is to stop something. So if I go, I've used a stopping method, and then of course Lily Lehman talked about it all the time in her book. So I'm going to take a breath, you go, and there it is. So how do I do that? Keep it up in the mask, don't let it fall down. And now another one is hung line. Some people love this one. If your psychological orientation wants to sing up here, then you have to identify the proper place to sing up there. So you identify the mask. So one of the ones we do is hung, and it's sort of like, and it opens the nose and closes the nose when you start to sing. So if I go, hung, if I sing in that, remember I mentioned before, the danger is you'll be able to sing in all these different functions. If I go, I can sing there. See? Except the problem is it doesn't carry with the darn over the orchestra. So we want to close the nose and get this one. So Caruso said never sing into the nasal cavity. It's in his book. So if I go, let's say I do hung line, I go, hung. Now if I sing below it, I sing the way I did when I was in college, and I sing as a bass. Hung, or a baritone. But the point is, it's not it's what the Italians call ingolata. It's in the throat. The resonance is down here, or it's in the nose. If I want to sing in the mask and use the hung line, I have to go over it, above it. So now I'm above it. And I can sing up there. Why not? There's a certain amount of redundancy in these tapes. I know that. And I've mentioned some of these things before, and maybe in a different context. But I do like to sort of put it down for people to understand that if they do these, they'll end up with their voice placed, and they'll end up with their diaphragm leaning, they'll end up with their breath behind them, and they'll be able to sing. Then you can sing whatever you want to sing. Arias, all the languages are done with a loose throat. And this stuff, because you work somewhere else, you don't need to work with your throat. So it gets easier and easier to sing absolutely throatless, jawless, and tongueless. See? Another one is to practice deliberately going from an open nose to a closed nose. Like ba. So if I go ba, I also get that reaction down here. Nothing happening. Now the stomach jumps out because I said B. I didn't do anything down there to make it happen. It just happens as a response. So I go ba, la, 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 la. Some people have, naturally nasal voices. I had one my whole life, and I managed to hide it pretty well after a while so somebody could hear me when I sang. Otherwise, it doesn't carry well. So if I go, ba, where is that? See? It's right there. If you know where it is, you can start there. Right. See? Breathe in. See? Place it. Marta, tu sparisti. Where is that? Sitting above the line, above this line, all the time. Now, let's see if we can do a little more intense diaphragmatic function. What if I wheeze? What's that? That is a way of seriously increasing the degree of compression that I want to use. If I want to use, we talked about weight of the lean in one of the videos I did. If I want to use, why isn't that enough? I should just be able to use that kind of weight. If I want to wheeze, I go, oh, now I've intensified the pressure of the breath against the diaphragm like crazy. So I go, you notice this is all still uninvolved because all it is a compression of a diaphragmatic technique and the throat doesn't do anything. So the wheezing technique is generally, by me anyway, not recommended for light lyric voices. The kind of voices that need that are the same ones that need a true spinto method. And there are a couple of methods where you do play with the rib cage a little bit. See, I take a deep breath, then I start to exhale against this spot. And I go, when I'm half empty, I start singing. So I go, now what kind of sound is that? All of a sudden, it's getting a little nasty, a little unfriendly. Right? It's hard to do the laughing, happy music if you have a spinto technique. That's spingere, to push. So I take the breath, and I go. Now I'm already pushing the breath out because if I just relax, it's like a turkey baster. If I let go, it'll refill. So what I do is I deliberately put the squeeze on my back a little bit, and then I sing from there. See? See that? So I go. And that's how you get what they called the spinto sound, or the spinto. It's really a spinto method. It's a method that should be used for people who have resistant, big vocal cords that we call spinto weight voices. If the voice is a lyrical spinto, then you not only can do both, but you have to do both. If you sing that repertoire, 1 minute you're being lyric, the next minute you're being dramatic. Look at Carmen, the first act of Carmen Duet. Look how lyric that is. Then all of a sudden you got this guy goes from lyric tenor in the first act, lyrical spinto in the second act, to held in tenor in the third act, and spinto tenor in the fourth act. So it's a role that requires, if you want to be a good vocal Don Jose, you need to know some technique. You need to know some vocal technique. You need to know about these different possibilities of the voice. And you can wheeze like crazy and sing anything, but you're going to get a sound that's always intensified, like that. Ah, there's the laughing wheeze. If I laugh and wheeze, I get makes me sound sort of sarcastic. What if I sing La Donna Mobile that way and I go La Donna Mobile? That's different from La Donna Mobile. What's the difference between and the sound? One sound is compressed, narrow, sort of intense, and the other gets fatter and more lyric and softer and friendlier. See? So I breathe, and then I do a contrary motion. Or I blow out a third of my breath and go La. It's a different kind of sound. Ein Schwert verhieß mir der Vater. Which one do I use depending on the music? Or does it all depend on me? And I do what I do with my equipment and don't try to live up to all these different styles of music. See? Let me open this. Hold up. Ooh, 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 ooh. I got you. You're in. So that's one little row, one little string of little vocalises we do to warm up the voice. Another is, of course, to staccato in all of these. I go, ooh, ah, 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 ah. Where's my staccato point? Once I get not only that point, I have the kind of use of my breath that lets me staccato. I don't go I go. So what am I doing with my breath? So I can sing that way too. What am I doing except holding staccato preparation breath? So I breathe and go. The Germans call it verhalten, or it's restrained, a restrained type, suspended type breath. Then you have the real German method, which is to attack while I'm still breathing in. This is not empty. This is mostly full. See? Breathe. What am I doing? See? And in the Zwischenfach, which is between category in the voice, you use a lot of that sometimes in Germany. If I sing La Donna Mobile in German, what do I sing? See, one of them would be La Donna Mobile. The other one is O wie so trügerisch sind Weiberherzen, mögen sie klagen, mögen sie scherzen. Now, which lean do I use? Do I use one lean for the Italian, another lean for the German? See? And you say, why? Because the German language interrupts all the time, and Italian never interrupts. The Italians don't like that. I'm going to go downtown to get something to eat, and I'll come back later, and we'll have something to eat, and have one sound working the whole time. See? And the Germans talk like this. They separate a lot of their words. Ich höre ein Bächlein. Ich höre ein Bächlein. Ein Weib sah ich. Sah ich. That you cannot say sah ich. If you run them together, it's not German. So I have to separate and allow for these separations all the time. And by doing that, I suspend my breath. So I go, right? So I have ein Weib sah ich, wann ich und hier entzückt reißen, wollen mich hier. What am I doing? I'm suspending like crazy all the time, and there's a staccato position that goes with that. Right there. See what I'm doing? So you can do, die weiße Lehre dieser Knaben, sei ewig mir ins Herz Herz gegraben. I hope all of these will help, and you'll all get a kick out of trying them all, because they all work. Then the problem becomes, which repertoire am I singing, and what am I supposed to do on this, and which one shall I use? And then what about me? What about me? Because I have a certain instrument. Which way should I sing to use my instrument? Somebody said the best voice to have is the lyrical spina voice. It's also the worst voice to have, the lyrical spina voice, because you have to know how to do a lot more technical stuff, because you got a lyric voice and a spina voice. You have to know how to use both. On the other hand, if you know that, you have this vast repertoire that you can sing just, easy as pie one night and another part, the next night. It's just great. See? If the idea is to do a lot of this music where you really don't have to do anything. What if I'm doing Tamino and I'm going, no, I can't remember the phrase there. And there's one in, of course, in Meister Singing from Nuremberg, but that's a little bit of a lean. Can't remember the words. Es als mild ward kühn von mir befreit am lieben Tag des Sonnen. Like Sonnen, the nen is the final syllable of the vowel, and it's supposed to be unstressed. See? You have a lot of coaches today teaching some of the young singers when they sing Italian. They go, "C'un sel fine momento che godrò senza fanno in braccioli del mio." Well, it's completely wrong. That's not the way Italian is spoken or sung or done anything. That's a German method imposed on the Italian language, which is completely wrong. They're done Italian completes. Giunse il fine momento che godrò senza fanno, and that requires a different kind of lean from no. So sometimes the people they really do interfere with the breath. What kind of breath technique do I have if I do that? What am I doing there? So in which support method allows me not to leak. Anyway, that's something for everybody to think about a little bit. We have vibrato. We still have to do something on vibrato, right? And you'll hear what happens. If I do a dead lean, there's no vibrato. If I restrain, I get vibrato. If I compress, I get vibrato. So the secret to vibrato is to know how to activate the breath, how to compress the breath in a way that lets you still sing, but still is alive and creates energy. It's not a dead lean. It's not a dead lean. I mean, it's not a vibrating note, and therefore it's a dead sound that is okay. But I'll do another one. I'll do a video at some point on vibrato. All right? Hope this helped everybody. Bye.